Welcome everybody. In this video we're going to be talking about how to paint camouflage schemes using silly putty of all things. Using once again a 15mm Sherman from the Plastic Soldier Company as our test piece here. I'm not going to go over the entire way how to paint this tank. Basically I'm just showing you how to do the camouflage portions and how to work that into the previous video on how to paint Sherman tanks. So you start by painting your base color. In this case, it is desert yellow with a tiny touch of beige brown. And then you place your silly putty on the model in whatever camo pattern you are attempting to recreate. In this case, I'm recreating a scheme I found called Forest Crossing. That tended to be I'm not sure where or when it was used or how often, but I found it in a book and it looked interesting, so I wanted to copy it. So just press your silly putty on in the appropriate shapes. I am cutting it away from the bogies and road wheels. You can, of course, continue it on into those areas if you wish. They didn't always camouflage those areas. Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. And I'm not. And of course you can use this technique on tanks of any nationality. Doesn't have to be Shermans. You could possibly also do this with try a German three-tone, is it two-tone? No, three-tone camo scheme, tricolor. Just paint your base color, put on your silly putty, paint your second color, put on more silly putty, and then paint your third color. I'm not 100% sure if that would work, but it sounds interesting. I think it would work. Now, the benefit of the silly putty here is that, well, ideally you want to use an airbrush to paint these, but if you don't have an airbrush, you can use this technique with ordinary spray paint. So with an airbrush, you could paint these by hand if you wanted, if you're really good enough. I'm not. But if you don't have access to that, an airbrush would work, or possibly even a regular brush. You just have to make sure not to move the silly putty as you're painting with the brush. So once all the silly putty is on, you just have to spray your secondary color. In that case, it is brown violet for the Shermans. And after that, I'm moving on to the next step, which is dry brushing. Just as shown in the previous video, three layers with a little bit of desert yellow. More desert yellow each time. And just be careful not to knock off your silly putty as you're doing this. And once all that's done, it's time to remove the silly putty. And the silly putty's not going to go in the trash. It's going to be all balled back up and placed back in its egg, because you can reuse this. So you can do tank after tank after tank after tank using the silly putty technique here. I should mention that this actually came from 1/35th scale armor, and just as here it is used to do camouflage schemes on tanks, I wanted to see if it can work on 15mm, and I believe it does. Now here's the tank, all the details painted, decals applied, and gloss coated. Put a lot of stars on the tank because this camo scheme does look a little Germanish. So I want to make it clear that these are US tanks. And you notice all the numbers on the hulls. There are corresponding matching numbers on the turrets because each tank has a different camouflage scheme, and I wanted to make sure to match the right tanks with the right turrets. So at this stage, the only thing left to do is the weathering. And just like in the previous video, it gets 2 coats of MIG's brown wash and then 1 coat of dark wash on the treads and around the hatches. And there you go, that's it. That's how to paint camouflage with silly putty. Give it a try. Like I said, it can work on any nationality of tank. Usually don't see camouflage Shermans, but I wanted to try something new after painting dozens and dozens of green-brown American tanks. So that's it, and as always, thanks for watching.